Hello! In John 15 verse 9 Jesus says this: As the Father loved me, I also have loved you. Abide in my love. What does that mean? What does it mean to abide in the love of God? Abide means to be in. Like when we abide in a place, we live there. And Jesus is commanding us to abide in his love. Now, wouldn't it be great if we all were living in God's love, in God's presence all the time? Well, the truth is, we are. But sometimes we forget we are. Like God is always here. His love is always around us. He is always present. But we're not. We forget. We've got distractions. We've got this scattered mind. And I'm just going to ask you and challenge you to think, what brings you back into God's love? What brings you back into the knowledge and the reality of God's love? You know, when we come to church and we worship, our minds are fixed on God, aren't they? But what about the rest of the time? What can bring you back? So, some suggestions. A lot of people like spending time in nature. I think nature can really bring you back to a sense of reality and wholeness. And when you see creation, you can link it with the Creator and come back into God's presence. But what about people? Do people bring up things in us that maybe separate us? When we judge people, does that separate us from God's love? Yeah, we know it does. So maybe when we look at people through fresh eyes and we think, maybe when we do feel like that we're going to judge, that in our own minds and our consciousness we can decide to love them. Maybe then that will help us spend more time in God's love and in his presence. What brings you back to centre? What brings you back into that place where you know that God's love is constant and present all around you all the time? Have a great day.